back to the Misunderstood Introverted Black Girl podcast with your host, Zylia, aka Zy, where we'll discuss all things from being an introvert, self-love, childhood trauma, finances, womanhood, growing, all of the above. It's pretty much a little bit of everything self-improvement. And as you'll see by the title, we're going to hop straight into it. If you don't know, this is a quote from J. Cole's song, Crooked Smile. If you have not listened to it, do me a favor and listen to it first and then come back, because today's podcast episode is all about this song. I was up at like 1 o'clock, like planning episodes, and the song came to my head. I don't know if I was watching a TikTok and that's how I heard it, but I heard "Love Yourself, Girl, or Nobody Will." I was like, I need that song. In a moment, I was like, I didn't know what song it was. So I looked it up and then I listened to it and I'm like, this is about to be a podcast episode on self-love. I broke down the first like minute and a half of the lyrics, and this song is beautiful. This song should be the song to represent self-love because he definitely did his thing with this. I'm gonna be looking at my iPad so I don't say the wrong words. I'm gonna talk like piece by piece of the lyrics and then how I feel about it, and then y'all can meet me in the comments, tell me how y'all feel about it, if y'all heard this song, if y'all never heard it, and yeah, we'll just start a discussion down there. I wish I could play the song, but you know, I get copyrighted. So the first like verse, I guess I'll say, is they tell me I should fix my grill because I got money now. I ain't gonna sit around in front like I ain't thought about it. A perfect smile is more appealing, but it's funny how my is crooked. Look how far I done got without it. I keep my twisted grill just to show the kids it's real. We ain't picture perfect, but we work the picture still. That sounds like poetry. The way I just said it, it really sounds like I wrote that poem. A few things that I got off of this, and the first thing was how sometimes it's other people who can get in our head and make us question things about ourselves or look at things that we never looked at as insecurities as now insecurities. And I feel like this is why you having a self-love journey, or you having some sort of self-love towards yourself or for yourself is important, because other people can get in your head and have you thinking there's something wrong, or if you're insecure about something and you don't have any sort of self-love built up, they can just get in your mind and break you down. And as someone who has experienced that their whole life, it is not a fun experience. It's not something that's easy to get out of, but it's something that you definitely can make steps towards to get to that place of truly loving yourself. And I also put where he said I got money now, because I feel like another thing is what most people associate money with happiness, or also just having money. Oh, I can do this and this. Just because you have money, that's not gonna make you happy. How many millionaires, billionaires, celebrities do you see do things, do drugs, or take their own lives and things like that because they're truly not happy? Money, to me, I've looked at it, is if you rip money in half, it has no value. It is the most fakest thing we ever invented. I like to also say, if someone at the bank accidentally added a zero to your bank account, you now have a $10,000 versus $1,000. Like, it's something that's so easily just made up. So I don't think using money and depending on money to make you feel better or feel like, oh, I love myself now that I fixed this because I have money, I feel like that's not where your self-love needs to lie, because you're gonna get disappointed when you get the money, you get the, let's just say BBL, you know, those type of things, surgeries, you get things done, and then you're like, oh, I still don't feel good. It's like, because self-love is a internal, mental, and emotional journey that you have to go on, not a physical and outward type of thing. It's an inward type of thing. And then just the last part with what he said we ain't picture perfect, but we're worth the picture still. That right there is like self-love to me. You're not perfect. No one is perfect. So what is perfection? Coming from someone who is a perfectionist of like trying to be perfect, what really is perfect if no one is perfect? We're living up to a unreachable, unattainable expectation, and we're running ourselves dry. You're draining yourself by doing this. Thank you for saying that to yourself, Zylia, because girl, we gotta work on that. But it's just relieving to be like, I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect. Like, I'm not perfect to the world's standards, but I'm perfect to my own standards and God's standards. That's kind of how I look at that. So the next little verse is, you wake up, put makeup on, stare in the mirror, but it's clear that you can't face what's wrong. No need to fix what God already put his paintbrush on. With this verse, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine you're in the mirror, putting makeup on, crying. I want you to imagine putting foundation over your face and you're just crying and the tears are coming down, but you're trying to put the makeup on. That's what I envisioned when he said this, because it's like, say for me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I forget that I had really bad acne growing up, which made me so insecure. That is a topic of its own. I forgot, like, I had dark spots, I had cystic acne, it was horrible. Like, that was something that literally killed my confidence, and I forgot that happened. I'll be honest, it probably was so traumatizing to me, I done forgot, because my face low-key cleared up. Like, we still got a little bit of issues, but she low-key cleared up. And I'm not saying makeup does this, but a lot of people can use makeup and other things. I'm just using makeup as an example, and also it's what he said in the song of, like, you just put makeup on to try to cover up all the imperfections, you try to paint over it, and you're God's gift to the world. Like, you're already it. You're already the sugar honey iced tea. You just personally don't feel like it. I feel like this also shows, like, it's not about the, like I said it before, about this whole song is like, it's not about the external things. It's honestly, it really comes down to internal, because you can do everything externally and you can still feel like absolute shit, to be honest. You could just feel horrible and paint over it. You can try to cover it up with drugs, you could try to cover it up with alcohol, but it's not going nowhere, because at the end of the day, you're running from something that's probably going to be the most healing and beautiful things in your life, to start to love yourself for you and to never lose that for yourself. So the next little verse is, you wonder why you're lonely and your man's not calling. You keep falling victim because you're insecure. And when I tell you that you're beautiful, you can't be sure. Because he don't seem to want you back, and it got you asking. So all you see is what you lacking, not what you packing. Take it from a man that loves what you got. Baby girl, you're a star. Don't let them tell you you're not. I wish I could say that on memory, but I be feeling mad nervous and I be feeling I'm gonna say it wrong. This got me a little emotional because this kind of relates to what I currently was just feeling a few months ago, of when you don't love yourself, you put the love you have for yourself within how other people treat you. And I'm gonna be straight up, other people treating you is how they feel about themselves. So we have it all misunderstood, because you take it as if somebody treats you horribly, then you're a horrible person. But in all reality, they feel like a horrible person, which is why they're treating you like a horrible person. Let's clear that up, okay? But this got me really emotional because it could get dangerous. It could get dangerous in the way that you think, if someone, for example, in the lyrics of like, he doesn't want you, so now you're trying to see what you're lacking. When in all reality, people are allowed not to want you. It's okay. Just because someone doesn't want you doesn't mean you're lacking. You just might not be the right fit for them. But what we do is, when you don't love yourself and you don't have as much self-love, you're like, what's wrong with me? Why doesn't this person want me? I'm nothing. And that's the problem, because that is because you put your self-love and your feelings about yourself in a way that other people treat you. And that's 100% wrong, but it's okay, because you have to learn. You have to sometimes go through the worst to get to the other side. And that's honestly where I come in, of going through a really horrible breakup, but learning so much and understanding that I did not have a lot of things that I needed to be as strong as I should have been, or I could have been, in certain situations. And I think it's really hurtful. I think it's so like, it hurts me to think that we start to just forget everything about ourselves, everything that makes us special, everything that makes us us. We start hating the things that make us unique when nobody is the same. We start just forgetting everything good about ourselves, everything that we love about ourselves. We'll start to lose that if we allow other people to dictate how we feel about ourselves. And even when he said, from a man that loves what you can have somebody who loves you, but if you don't love yourself and you don't see yourself as worthy or beautiful, that person telling you that, it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't hit. So he says, like, specifically, and from a man who loves what you got, baby girl, you're a star. Don't let them tell you you're not. Like, You can have people rooting for you. You can have people wanting you to see yourself as who you are, the beautiful, smart, caring person. But when you don't feel that, nobody can convince you that. Especially if you're dealing with someone toxic or you're dealing with someone who doesn't feel good about themselves, they can bring you right down with them. That's what insecurities do. And then when you have two insecure people, y'all just bring each other down, to be honest. And that's where toxic relationships, getting caught up in things you shouldn't be getting caught up in, feeling ways about yourself, sometimes depression, anxiety come from that. And that's why I feel like a lot of what we're going to talk about over here is learning self-love and how to start your self-love journey. It pretty much all ties back into, the title of this episode, which is a lyrics in his song, Love Yourself, Girl, or Nobody Will. Because self-love for yourself starts within yourself. So no matter what you think, no matter how much you try to get somebody else to love you so you could see that you are worthy of love, if you don't feel worthy of love, if you don't feel self-love within yourself, once that person doesn't love you or once that person does something to you, your whole world like knocked down. And it should not be that easy for other people to determine how you feel about yourself. And that's why moving forward, for myself, I've learned that I don't want to fall in love, date, nothing like that until I truly learn to love myself, because I don't want to ever again fall in love with somebody and then fall in love with myself after someone else shows me that I'm worthy of love. I want to love myself first. They come in, see how much I love myself, then they love me, and then they also love me for loving myself. So now we both love me. You see how that goes? You see how if he want to leave, okay, honey. Okay, Bookie. Have a good life. Like, I think that's where we get caught up in the bad breakups. Yes, a breakup is gonna be bad. Yes, a breakup is gonna hurt. But when it's that breakup that's like killing your soul, you feel like shit. You feel like you're this worthless piece of trash. Your love, the self love. That's what's missing. That's what's lacking. And I'm saying that lightly because I went through a breakup recently, first breakup ever, so I know how it hurts. But I'm saying when it's deep and it's like months, years, and you've completely changed how you feel about yourself based on the breakup or what they did, we have to work on pouring back into ourselves, because I feel like that's just a sign that self-love is lacking in there. But let's get to the last little verse lyrics. Eyebrows, fingernails, hair, is it real? And if it's not, girl, you don't care. Because what's real is something that the eyes can't see, that the hands can't touch, that them broads can't be, and that's you. Never let them see you frown. I just believe this should be the motto for self-love. Like, I just said, this whole song should be the motto. Like, anytime you need to feel like, oh, I need to love myself, put this song on. That's how I feel. Outside things don't determine the love for yourself. You can have fingernails. I can have this wig on, but if I don't love myself without the wig off, what's the point? This wig could fly off. Then what? Like, I don't even wear nails, but once I started my consistent skincare routine, and doing things for yourself as simple as a skincare routine is a way to show yourself self-love. I've fell in love with my natural face. No lashes, no wig, no nothing, my natural hair out. And I've always complained about my natural hair. But once I started doing my skincare, my skin started looking good. Like, I started doing something for myself, putting on music that I like to listen to. These are little things that help to build your self-love for yourself. You're catering to yourself. You're doing things that you told yourself you want to do. You told yourself, oh, I want to focus on my skin, like clear skin, growing my natural hair. Once you start activating certain things that you want to do and keeping your word and your promise to yourself, that is a way to start showing yourself self-love and starting that journey. And then when he's like, because what's real is something that the eyes can't see, that them hands can't touch, that them bros can't be, and that's you. I feel like that is just that bitch mentality, because it's just like, I don't care who you are. I love myself. I love who I am. I love what I do. I love how I express myself, and nothing, nobody, no outside force, no outside person, no outside thing, no wig, no nails, nothing can change that. And I feel like that is the most powerful thing for a woman, because people are going to try to break you down. And when he said, never let them see you frown, I felt that personally deep down in my soul. Okay? I have always felt like people have just hated me for no reason. Like, on top of being an introvert, I just feel like people just hated me. And I feel like it's just my energy and my aura, because I feel like my aura is, like I said in one of my podcasts, of like, people just always are like, oh, I love you. You and your soul. I love her. I go to a new job. Oh, I love her. I'm around people. I love her. It's just people like tend to come towards me. People's misery started to show when they would, try to mess with me or try to break me down, try to make me feel like shit, try to make me feel like I'm not that girl. And for Xylia to admit to this, of saying, I truly understand that the way other people look at you, treat you, have annoyance with you, don't like you, is their own personal problem. Baby, that's your problem. Because most of the time, you don't even know people for real. And you don't like me. You don't. I used to want to know why people didn't like me, yo. All the time. I'm like, I don't even know this girl like that. Or I'm just like, I didn't even do nothing to her. No, her insecurities, even guys, people in general, family members, their insecurities, their misery. Misery loves company. They're sick. They don't know how to address it themselves, so they just push it on other people. It's as simple as that. And I feel like when you build up your self-love, which is something I'm doing, this is why I feel so much peace in my life, and I'm learning so much. That's why I just want to share it. Just basically talk about the things I learned, because this mindset is freeing. To know that because someone else doesn't like me, or because someone tries to bring me down, tries to talk down on me, oh baby, that's how you feel about yourself. Because I don't walk around doing that. Because I don't care. One, I don't care about other people, which is a blessing to say and to feel within my soul, of like, I'm really getting to a point where I don't care for others. What other people do, people don't like me, that's your problem. But on top of that, of like, I don't go around with my insecurities pushing them out onto people, being a negative, nasty person, because that's just not who I am. And then that's also something people could just hate about you. You're just that girl. You just handle life, and they just hate to see it. They hate to see somebody be able to just be positive, be happy, love themselves, look beautiful, have this aura that they don't know how to channel because they're not putting effort into it. Like, you want advice? Open your mouth and ask. Like, that's how I feel about it when it comes to people hating on you. Like, just sit down with yourself, admit the things that you need to admit, because holding on to those is not cute. But I could go into a whole rant about it. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, let me know down in the comments your thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening, and be sure to follow us on all our socials, tmibg.podcast. The misunderstood introverted black girl, all letters, dot, period. I mean, not dot, well, period, dot. Podcast is usually our @ sign for everything. And you can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And always remember, you have now found a safe place where you are accepted for who you are. I want you to know that you have a purpose in this life, even if you don't know what it is yet. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.